Last time on Hyper Blue. Hyper Blue totally defeated ninjas in space while asking you if you would rather he make one game a month or one RPG FPS game over this entire year. Find out what was voted as the outcome. But first, play the intro! What's going on, guys? As the announcer said, you guys got to vote which direction this channel goes in, and I'm pleased to announce that I'll be making just one game this year. That's right, you guys voted for option B in a landslide decision, and so I've begun work on an RPG first-person shooter. I saw this as the perfect opportunity to work on my dream game. I've only been programming with Unity for about 4 months, but I feel I'm ready to tackle this project. So what is my dream project? It's very simple, actually. Have you ever watched the movie I Am Legend? There you go. It's just I Am Legend. The game. If you haven't, it's about Will Smith and his dog in New York City. What's so great about that, you ask? Oh, just nocturnal mutants who try to hunt him down during the night. You watch Robert, Will Smith's character, traverse an entire empty city by day, gathering resources and doing his daily jobs. During night, he bunkers down and locks up his fortified home while going to sleep to the screams of mutants. I don't feel any game has captured the feeling of that movie. The two closest, in my opinion, are Dying Light and The Forest. This game will be a mashup of these two games to create my dream survival game. You'll be able to upgrade your character, increase stats and abilities, pick up and craft items, hunt for food, or even grow your own. You'll build up your base and traps, you'll get to go looking for water and food, all while trying to steer clear of the mutants. If you would like to contribute with ideas or feedback, please consider joining our Discord. Send me a message on Instagram and I'll send you a link. Now, let's see how much I've made in the past 5 days and how I did it. As per the norm, I start off with moving a bean around. This time around I used Unity's character controller component. I wasn't happy with the rigid body controls I'd made in the past, so I decided I'd take a different route this time around. Next up, I added the camera on the beam, and added some cool ass head bobbing. Right after that, I got some basic crouching and sliding going. I want this game to have minor parkour elements as the mutants are crazy fast, so we need to be able to get away quickly. Now, I want to do something different with this series, and explain game design and my programming concepts. So here we go with the gun. The difference between this gun right now and this one is what I like to call smoke and mirrors. The way these guns handle in a mechanical sense are the exact same. They both use a raycast, an invisible line from one point to the other that checks for collisions when I hold the mouse button. As you can see, this gun is very boring though. If the game was to be like this, it wouldn't feel as fun as this. This is what I, personally, consider the most important part of making any game, the game feel. Nintendo is probably the top tier example to look at for this. Look at every Mario, Legend of Zelda, whatever. The amount of polish and juiciness to these games is amazing. In my long quest of game development, I have not spent more time on any topic than game feel. So first off, we can see the gun is really stiff. This is one of my biggest pet peeves in mainly indie games. It doesn't feel like I'm holding a gun. And something that helps with this, and is actually really easy to add, is weapon sway. We find out where the gun should be, but slow down the movement so the gun doesn't just instantly snap to that position. See how much better that feels? Look at it go! Now looking at the gun, you can't tell if I'm shooting, right? Now this concept doesn't just apply to guns. We can apply this to everything. When we interact with anything, make it do something. Movement is one of the biggest helpers for this. Now a gun normally has some recoil to it from the force of the bullet, so we'll just add some rotation to the gun and done. I cannot say this enough though. If something interacts with something in your game, show that it is. Is something landing? Add a sound effect and a bit of smoke. Are you jumping on top of an enemy? In a platformer, don't have the enemy just disappear. Squash him, stretch him out. Add particle effects and a cool sound. Now, my next problem is I'm not showing through my gun what state of movement I'm in. You'd have a hard time telling what my character is doing the way it is now. Again, a very simple fix. We just add some animation to whatever state we are currently in. For example, when my speed is higher than a certain value, I must be sprinting. Next, I put the gun model on top as I felt like the movement part was done. I usually like to put any object that I'll interact with as a primitive shape. If it looks fun and exciting in that form, it'll be even cooler when you add a model. Don't just put a model in and hope that'll do. Your screenshots may look cool, but your game in the videos will look boring. Now, it still doesn't look like we are shooting anything. Let's add some muzzle flash and some hit effects where the raycast hits. Now at this stage, I'm mostly done with the gun and decide to go back to try seeing if I can get that scary I Am Legend vibe. As you can see, movement looks boring as hell. I can't imagine running away from mutants watching this. I need to add more momentum, more excitement. I increased the speed of the player and added wall running. Now this isn't like Titanfall or Carlson, you can only wall run for like 2 seconds. But it's enough to clear gaps and do cool stun shots and vault over stuff. Now when I did post this video, I got some feedback that it looks like Carlson. Yes, I love Danny and Carlson, but I'm not trying to steal ideas from Carlson. I'm trying to be inspired by games like The Forest and Dying Light. So to make it look less like Carlson, I changed the materials and baked some lights. Now it has been 4 days on this map and I was getting kind of sick of it. I created a house to explore and tried giving it a more horror-ish type of vibe. I was starting to get really excited at this point and wanted to start shooting things. Place some mannequins around and well, yeah. Since then, I've copied the idea from Call of Duty, where you kill all the mannequins and they start hunting you down. At the moment, they don't attack or cause you any harm, but it's cool to run around and have something chase you. I'll probably leave them like this for a while and spend the next few weeks adding the rest of the player's features and weapons, and use this as a testing ground. You can grab a demo on itch.io right now and play it. Again, there isn't anything to do other than run around with one gun and shoot things, but I figured I'd just keep updating the project on there either weekly or bi-weekly. Anyway, let me know what you guys thought of the video, and if you prefer this longer, more detailed style. If you enjoyed this devlog, please consider subscribing and liking this video. Thank you for all the support, and I'll see you next time. Cool sound.